Okay.
This is downtown Memphis uh, engine facility, the roundhouse and the turntable, and here's the classification yard over to the right. This is where all the trains are made up and broken down in Bluff City Yard in Memphis. Just part of the railroad. And you see industries in the background there. And then behind is Mississippi. This is Mississippi over here. This is Tunica, Mississippi. The train comes through there after it leaves Memphis.
Look how cool this is. And then we got lots of southern trees. Okay. Okay. And
Over
goes-
here across the aisle is the crossing over to the Mississippi River. We're going into Arkansas now. This is the bridge. Here's a little place called Pryor Ark, Arkansas. A few little industries here. And then behind, where this is, behind, there's a cotton field, but behind this is the Mississippi Peninsula, which, there we go. There's Mississippi, and it came around from Tunica, and there's some other scenes, and we'll come back to that later. Now back around to the left, yeah, we're going to go over Arkansas, continue in Arkansas. We were in Pryor Ark, and now we come around the curve here, and this is West Memphis, Arkansas. Small engine facility here, and there's a Ford plant where they make auto parts, and a little station here too for West Memphis, and then a few industries down this way, coal companies and box companies and packing companies, cement companies, and a grain facility. And then swinging on around, this is actually downtown Memphis here with the Hotel Peabody and other places that you have heard of. And then we swing around into the big passenger station in downtown. In front here is the freight house in Memphis. Here's the passenger station. This passenger station, which you'll see shortly, is a model of the station that was torn down in the early 70s in Memphis. It was on Calhoun Street. It was Union Station. And here's Union Station now in downtown Memphis. And then here's some more downtown subjects, and we even have Confederate Park down here, and there's Confederate Arms Hotel, which there's no such place, but I made that up because liberals find it offensive. Here's Confederate Park. That's probably Nathan Bedford Forrest.
You remember me.
Leaving Memphis, we come into another part of Tennessee. This is all of a sudden you're in Somerville. And here's a few industries. There's a grain company, and then there's a fertilizer company, and there's some houses back in the back. Small yard in the foreground. Then there's the Southern Station here, Cotton Gin, and then the Sand and Gravel Company. Across the bridge, we go across the Loosatchee River. And in back, far back, is a line that goes to Nashville, but in the foreground there's another line, and it swings around, and it's on the southern track. It comes into Tune, and Tune's over here to the right, and there's Tune Cumberland Presbyterian Church and Anderson's General Store, which was in downtown Tune, and in the back is our grandmother's house, and then Eddie Burkett's stores here, and some of the other names that I've used. There's Grandma's house, a model that I built from pictures years ago.
That's right, where my daddy grew up. And here's the front. Beautiful. Okay.
Then Grandpa's Cotton Gin is over here to the right, J.W. Keller Cotton Gin. Leaving Tune, we come around the curve, and there's a cornfield, a little farmhouse with a small barn. And it's 1950. All this is 1950. And we come across the Hatchie River bottoms here, the swamp area. And we come to a juke joint stuck in the woods. And then there's a little sawmill back in the back, way back in the back there. And in the foreground of that house is the superintendent of the Jackson Yard. He lives there. Then we come into the dispatcher's office in Jackson, Tennessee. Then a small roundhouse and turntable. In the foreground here is the Jackson Station. Here's the Jackson Freight House coming into view, and the Jackson Engine Service Facility, and downtown Jackson. A few industries here, tannery, transfer company, and there's a cotton compress and storage, and then the train disappears under a building and through through the wall and goes into what's called staging, and this is Chattanooga in the background here. Just trains go there and stop.
And Alan has a urinal in his workshop down here. I love it. Look at all this. Fantastic. What an artist he is. Now we're going to go back. Okay. Hope I didn't get you in there. Okay.
Okay, and over to the far left is Greenville staging. Over here to the far left. That's another staging track where trains go to and come from. Once they go there, they don't come out until the next operating session. It's like the additional land that you don't have to model. Now we're going to follow the peninsula here around Mississippi and get some close-up views of Friars Point. There's another cotton field. Cotton is very prominent because it's 1950. Here's Harris Stave in the foreground along the Mississippi River. It makes barrels, kegs, and tubs. And there actually was, in Friars Point, Mississippi, a company called Harris Stave. Didn't look anything like this, but that was the name. And there's a mansion back there, Southern Plantation House. And there's a gas company in the foreground here. It's swamp gas. They import the swamp gas from the river. And then there's a little engine facility here, and a little church, and gas station, and a general store, and the Cotton Delta Gin back there, and the famed cannery right there in the foreground. And the line swings on around, crosses the river, crosses the Sunflower River here, over a bridge. We continue on. There's a little scene here, barbecue joint, at a place called Coahoma. And there's a gang of prisoners, chain gang working, cleaning up the road. Here's Lake Alligator in the background. And then we swing around to Alligator, Mississippi. Here's the auto works, where they make a few auto parts. And then Fred's Rebel Place is in the back, way in the back there. It's a hotbed of activity. Most of it's politically incorrect. And then there's a general store, Phillips General Store, Duncan's store, a few houses, and in the foreground is the station, and there's a cattle pen here where cattle are dropped off and picked up. Swinging on around, we come to the sharecropper shacks with a big house here, more cotton fields, and then there's a big party going on at the plantation house. And that's a model of a house that existed, probably still does, in Columbus, Mississippi. I built it from photos. And it's called Briarwood. That's what we call that. Because we used to live in Briarwood subdivision when we were younger. Anyway, now we're back in Tunica where we started earlier. And Tunica has a square and so forth. The courthouse in the center there was as a model of the courthouse that exists in Bolivar, Tennessee. I built that from pictures as well. And so anyway, we come around and we're going to see the station and we see the coal facility, and then we come back to where we started in Bluff City Yard in Memphis.
Thank you, Alan. That was a wonderful thing, and I'm so proud of you for being such a fabulous artist, being able to do all this. God bless you.